meeting order for April the 15th, 2025 here at City Hall at 6:05 p.m. Roll call: Alicia.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Brad.
Here.
Clay's here. Ashley.
Here.
Steve.
Here.
Larry.
Here.
And 4 people in the audience. This time we'll do the invocation with Alicia, and I'll do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this day that you've given each and every one of us here today, Lord. I just ask that you watch over us and guide us and continue to bless our city, Lord. We just give you all the praise and the glory. Amen.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3, additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4. Discuss and approve the following meeting minutes: March 24th, 2025, special meeting minutes. Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Mark. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. March 24th, 2025, workshop meeting minutes.
Motion to approve March 24th workshop meeting minutes.
Motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Alicia. Any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. April 1st, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
Motion.
Motion by Alicia,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion concerning appointment of a city director to the FMPA Board of Directors.
Okay. We received an email from the general counsel for FMPA. They're identifying that they have their board of directors meeting coming up on April 17th, 2025. I guess the city has not appointed a member to that board. Yeah, I guess as far back as I can find it, we have not appointed a member to that board. They just brought up to the point that we are entitled to have someone on the board, at least on those meetings, to help identify any issues that the city may have, since they're setting policy and direction for all of the FMPA. I did look at the board of directors makeup in the thing, and like I said, in some places they are elected officials, some places they are staff. There's no requirement that it be any particular individual. So if if it's the council's direction, do we want to go ahead and appoint someone it's going to be a Zoom meeting? It's not even going to be, in a local meeting kind of thing. So if we just want to have someone on there to express the city's interest if it's necessary.
Okay. Have anybody willing?
I think we should just let Mr. Tibbs do that, or
Awesome.
would you prefer someone on the board?
I would prefer Mr. Tibbs do it. But that's up to y'all.
That's fine with me.
I
So can I get a motion?
motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Alicia to appoint Larry Tibbs to the FMPA Board of Directors. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. I guess congratulations, Larry. All right, city manager's report.
I forgot to tell you that was a highly paid position.
Left that out.
As far as city manager report, I think we reported on most of these before that lead service line inventory that's currently finished, or we have DEP to approve it. We had that citywide GIS mapping project that's well underway. We had a meeting on April 3rd. We're looking at, they probably got about 50% of the database, but it will end up being that eventually on a laptop we'll have access to all all the utilities we have in the system there. So you go to location to pull up and it shows you electric, water, sewer, stormwater, whatever it may be, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, that project is well underway. I did, you know, send on a press release from the developer that's working in the marina. That's still a very conceptual, you know, this press release, you know, it's a very conceptual proposal. What they're kind of doing right now is kind of floating ideas out there. They're obviously looking for investors on the outside too. So there's nothing really firm in there other than it sounds like they're trying to do a pretty good job of getting their almost 9 acres developed in the marina. So we have not heard it, you know, as far as the challenge program. You know, we had once a month we have a local technology meeting up at the county. That was this morning. No one's heard anything about if the federal government's going to release anything on the B challenge program yet or not. But we did get an update. The city folks were on there this morning and saying our project that was originally they got a grant for back in 2023. They said they're working on that. They're doing the walkout and it will be soon applying for permits, and they expect it to start in the fourth quarter of this year, which would mean completion in probably early next year. But they did have been at the last 2 meetings, at least they're back giving us updates. Let's see. I did attach a financial report to this agenda. I don't know if you had seen it or not, but I did attach a financial report. I think I would like to go ahead and request it before the May 6th meeting that we have a workshop and go through the budget update again for 2025, and also maybe look at discussing the city's parcel in the marina and some of these parcels up here, what the council would like to do with, what direction they would like to go. You know, put some proposals, maybe start working on putting some proposals together. I did obtain a copy of Sarasota, where they leased out their marina to a private developer, and then you know, they retain the lease with it, and they also get the revenue from that. It's a thought. I mean, we've discussed about what the direction is going to be and how we proceed on. So you could be at the May 6th meeting. We'll go ahead and workshop on the budget and
What time would you want?
we probably would want to do that 5:15.
Yeah, 5:15.
I want to remind you too, the school district is hosting a meeting on the 23rd at 5 p.m. It's supposed to be a joint city council, county commission and school district sit down. It's similar to the one I think we did last in January 23, where I guess we used to discuss what projects are going on in each of the areas, that kind of thing. So if, you know, I don't know if any of you replied or want us to reply for attendance, so, you know, let me know. Like I said, that's the 23rd at 5 p.m.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I think we'll all be there.
At least that's there. Okay, very good. And I think that's it I have.
That's a Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
Okay. Anybody got anything for Larry?
Well, since Brad isn't here, I wanted to remind him that we have Easter sunrise service down here. Somebody probably doing smoke or anything as part of things, so that's turning off.
He's out on the water leak right now,
Okay,
but yeah, I'll pass it on.
you pass that on and I think you and I talked about making sure they have enough hurricane materials in the yard over there for this summer.
Brad, you got anything for Larry? Alicia, you good? All right, thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Steve?
I don't really have anything. I did receive an email from Ashley today, I guess on the restaurant property, that somebody's interested in purchasing it.
They were looking for the owner's information to contact them about possibly purchasing it. But the owner passed away, so it's the son, so
Which restaurant? Morehead Restaurant?
the,
Yeah, the building that's boarded up. What I will do is pull out the code enforcement file because we've had a lien on it for quite some time.
and it should still be working up $25 a day.
Yeah, which will come up with the total. Obviously, if there's an interest in purchasing the property, we can forgive part of the lien amount to offset, getting a new
Something.
business going perhaps on that property. I'm not sure what their intended use would be, so I'll get my my file together in case we get contacted on that. That's all I have.
Okay, does anybody got anything from Mr. Ramoni? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
I'll probably be coming back to you here in a little bit, so don't get comfortable.
Okay.
City Clerk, Ashley?
I don't have anything.
Anybody got anything for Ashley? Okay, thank you, Ashley.
Mhm.
Greg A. Smith and Bradley Wade's not here. All right, approval of bills in the amount of $116,428.09. Motion by Alicia, seconded by Brad. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Citizen comments. Anyone have anything? Come on up, Jay.
I got a concern with canal at South Pump,
Okay.
hasn't been, and David Miller was here years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we got hurricane season coming. And the city does have nothing to spray the center. So doesn't have.
Didn't the county go down there, if I'm not mistaken?
They did that a year ago, didn't they? Last summer.
Well, someone needs to go look at it. That's my concern.
But Deb, you're right, Jay. It does need to be,
Yeah, we
And I
got
think-
hurricane season coming up. and,
Yeah.
It hasn't been cleaned out.
Yeah, they only got one.
Probably a couple of years before David Miller left.
Jay, okay,
Just ask someone to look at it.
okay, we will. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Okay. Number 9, mayor and council to give reports. Ms. Beck?
The power engineer, the electric engineer, power engineer. Yeah, that guy. Has he been in contact with Rice Electric or FPNL yet? Or did he give a deadline on when he was gonna reach out to them?
No,
I just don't wanna be behind the eight
our
ball.
last meeting, he mentioned about, we had that was more of a planning meeting.
Right.
He's gonna set up, a meeting to go ahead and start developing the RFP.
Right.
And I'll get back with him, try to get.
Okay, I don't want it
he's-
to be November and.
Yeah, he's fairly diligent, but yeah, Lear will follow up and then that should get some more information out there.
Okay, and then another thing, just there's been some ordinance and different things have been coming up, just like this, that we're, we only are allowed chain link fence and we've changed that a couple of times. And I know a lot of our, ordinance need to be looked at and haven't been looked at in a long time, so maybe once we kind of get squared away and kind of slow down a little bit, I'd like to take a couple out of a month and overview them or something. Or everybody look at them, double check them and see if there's anything,
For sure, the fence one.
because I feel like, I know the fence one for sure. I feel like, you know, we all kind of need to take another look at that, and
Yeah,
if there's something that jumps out at us, to bring it to a meeting so we can kind of revisit all ones that help us.
I had two that was kind of on the list. One was the fence and one was the reestablishing that rental inspection program. Which,
Mhm.
you know, I guess we probably give those to Jason to have, to have him start coming up with some
Update or.
Right.
updates for his mother
Right.
that he's worked on too, so.
Just
That's
something-
that's two that I had thought of, because I know the fence one, we discussed it many
Yeah.
times, and it is
Right.
in dire need of,
Yes,
you know,
for sure.
update, because right now you're approving a variance for anybody walking in there, you have to approve a variance, which is, gets dangerous,
Mhm.
because, you know, after you start approving one, it's very hard to turn down another one.
Right, exactly. Yes, sir. I just, if we'll all kind of take time and kind of overview them and bring them to the board and see
Big book.
it is. That's all I have.
Anybody anything for Alicia? Mark?
I don't know if we talked about these two signs that someone put up on the poles down there, but don't park on the grass. I was told we don't have any signs like that. Where are they gonna park? In the water? There's two signs. One is at the end of Avenue O and the other one is up this way from it. Says please park on grass. They're brand new signs and they're only shoulder high. So I don't know if we put them up, but I don't think it was one of our employees. And, one other thing I got, I've been watching the garbage can over here by the marina. Aren't our people supposed to empty that out every night?
I think it gets left out there, and that's our trash route. They put it on the trash route, and that's the way they've been emptying that, unless the guys see that it's over.
This one's full.
Is it? Okay.
And I always thought for years that nightman was supposed to empty the trash, but now I guess they're not doing it. They're just scooting by. So we got collected.
We could address that at the workshop as far as how you want the docks and marine operation to be run in the future. So,
I mean, since I've been on here, that was always my understanding that the parks and docks, whoever was at night.
Right on
checked
down
it
on
up. Yeah, but
I know that they do these out here, but I've seen on our camera that they picked it up on trash day over there. So
I don't know who authorized to pick it up on trash day, but it's supposed to be put, as far as I'm concerned, or heard. 10 years ago, it was a guy that's on nights.
we will tell Brad so he can address that.
Brad can look into it. All right, anybody got anything from Mark? All right, Mr. Smith, it's up.
I just had a concern about, those ditches that were recently done between O and N, and there was a couple other streets, but just the quality of work that was done there. It could have been done a lot better. And the use of the equipment, well, it wasn't used the full amount, I guess, so I'll just.
Yeah,
It could have been done a lot
there
better.
were periods, you know, where it said idle, because of the, you know, times like meter reading, those type things where everybody's full, there was some times it was sitting there idle. Like I said, we did, and then, at the end, it actually broke down too.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
But I talked to Brad about that today too, like going back and cleaning up some of those,
So sorry.
the sod that's down there.
That and how smooth, you know, it's not really, yeah.
Go back.
The when the mower's gonna be able to
No, they're not.
go down there, not, you know, they're tearing mowers up.
Yeah, this afternoon, when we were over, and walked through the Daniels lift station this afternoon, but we, did indicate, we gotta get back over and get that cleaned up.
That's all I have.
Do you know how many hours that they put on that machine?
Let's say 55 hours. I don't know.
No, she couldn't confirm it. She asked
55.
PJ.
So when I did the math today, and I went to Morehouse Haven High School, so I mean, it's sketchy. It comes up to 2.75 hours a day if you use it 20 hours or 20 hours,
20 days,
20 days. Thank you. Yeah. See, I told you.
20 days.
So, I mean, the person that's complaining has a right to complain because come on, Larry. I mean, if we're renting a machine, and I'm bad about this, if I can get unlimited hours, we're gonna run it unlimited time. I mean, that makes it cheaper for the taxpayer. That makes it for me. And so when I start getting calls that the machine's not being run, it's hard for me to defend when you're only running it 3 hours a day. And if you've got a situation where, well, now we got meter read, now we got this, there's plenty of people down at City Barn, I'm sure that we could have spared one to run a backhoe in a case like this. I mean, you're asking mosquito control to pay $4,400, and I'm under the, that we didn't give them $4,400 worth of work. That's kind of it's a little bogus there, and I'm not as concerned about the quality because it's kind of hard to get a V-ditch when you got a square bucket. I mean,
Yeah.
so, but there is some quality issues, of course. But then when I look at the price and you're telling me, you're asking me for $4,400 and we only ran it 3 hours a day.
I don't know that, like I said, I
No, I understand that. And I did not confirm that. That was a comment that I heard. It was 55 hours. But if it's 55 hours over 20 days, that's 3 hours. We can do a lot better than that. And
Is someone,
taxpayers has every right to be mad at us on
is it a
this.
taxpayer or is it someone on the board who's coming? Because I'm not aware of the situation.
Well, it's because you just haven't got the phone calls, but it doesn't.
Well, I know.
you
I know that what the work we did, but I mean, if mosquito control is complaining about the work that our guys did, then maybe they should contract it out and see how much it would cost them.
Well, in this case, and you're probably right. I grant that. But in this case, we made a deal that they would rent the machine and we would operate it. And
I understand.
we charged them $4,400 and we didn't give them $4,400 worth of work. I mean, when man tells me you got unlimited hours, then somebody better be swinging 10 hours a day. That's just, this ain't right. And the person's complaining has got every right to complain in this case here.
I did not hear you
We don't
complain
work 10 hours.
about the quality, but I did hear you complain about the number of hours used.
Not our guys.
The day I was there, he's picking up sod and putting it in a city truck and carrying it to his place where he lives. On city time.
That's a whole nother issue.
Exactly.
Same thing. He should have been in the machine running it. Same thing.
I grant you that 100%. At 7:05, he should have been on that machine.
Well, this was 8:30 in the morning.
This sounds like a conversation we
Machine
need to
wasn't even running.
have with Brad, and he's not here.
Well, and then if something's amiss, then we should open a personnel file investigation on it, and what it is, it is. So
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
So I can scratch that one off. All right, Brad, you got anything else?
No, that's all I had.
All right, I guess it's my turn. Containers. Who ever decide about the containers, the land seek containers? Because the young man come in the other night and asked about them, but I know 2 or 3 around town that. Is it an ordinance or is it not an ordinance?
Ordinance on pods, which is a land sea container. Same thing. There's an ordinance on it.
So we've got 2.
And it says it can't sit for more than 5 consecutive days. And in the event of a natural disaster, you are to have it removed within so many hours. I can't
Now, is
remember
that
the
a
exact hours.
business or a commercial or a residential, or is that straight across the board?
It's just pod storage containers. It doesn't specify commercial or residential.
Well, I know the one for sure has been there 3 or 4 years. So did we grandfather some in, or did somebody just, Yeah, it is who it is, so let's don't say something, I mean, you know, we're gonna tell this guy no, but yet you ride around Moorhaven and you can find 4 that I know of.
Then they need to be wrote up.
Exactly.
We had
Doesn't
discussion
matter
on
who you
that.
are.
Excuse me, we had discussion on that as far as the residents at one time, I remember. So you, Steve? Using them for a resident?
To me, it went with the residents, but I haven't reviewed it. I'd have to review it quite honestly, but
Yeah,
it made more sense as the residential district was concerned, but we could.
Well, you got them in
We could-
residential. I know for a fact, I've seen 2 of them in residential,
Well,
and 2 at a business.
Then if there's a code enforcement inquiry, then she'll have to take care of it.
Investigate.
Hmm.
Okay. The Wi-Fi at this last meeting that you and I discussed, that was embarrassing. I mean, we're doing $160 million deals and we can't even just talk to people. Do we need to go to Starlink? I don't know what we got to do, but we have got to do better than that.
I
That was
just
embarrassing.
told Steve I don't think that had anything to do with the internet because I was trying to run 2 cameras at the same time and I think they were fighting against each other. Because I was trying to run one for Zoom and one for the live. So we can either do Zoom or we can do live, but we can't do both at the same time.
Well, why don't we do another test like you and I had done before? Because yeah, I, you know, you've heard me say it a dozen times that, you know, you've got people from throughout the country calling in for these meetings because we're doing bond issues, you know, on Wall Street essentially. Yeah, we can't conduct a basic Zoom meeting. So whatever, to me, is the problem needs to get fixed, period.
And I think in a case like that, not to interrupt, and it gets, when we're discussing that, and it gets down to 2 cameras, the live feed can go down. Cause we got people in the audience, so we're good.
Yeah, and we're recording,
So
obviously,
keep
everything.
cutting live feed off.
I mean, ultimately, you know, we need to work to not having limitations in our system. I don't know what the answer is, but obviously we looked at the Broadcom and, you know, and for cost purposes, it's extremely expensive, but yeah, we've got to remedy this problem whatever way. So why don't you and I set up a test again? Because I was trying, you know, I was homesick, so I was trying to do it from home. You know, when Clay voted no, I heard the no, but you know, but it was so garbled and I was just cutting out that.
Right, and Angela's trying to talk to us, and Ken's trying to talk, and you don't understand really what you're, you know, we got to do better than that.
So you and I'll do a test like we did before, and if it works, which it did work well,
And it worked when it started.
yeah, but then the problem is if it deteriorates for whatever reason, we can't do that anymore. So like tonight, we just did the phone in, but really we should be able to
Yeah.
teleconference with these people.
So
Fiber take care of some of those issues, Brad?
Yeah,
We're on
absolutely.
wireless fiber right now.
Wireless fiber.
Hmm.
Well, is it, Lumen?
Yes, it's through
Oh,
Lumen.
okay.
Hmm.
You got rid of,
Freedom Wi-Fi is wireless fiber. It beams from the satellite to another satellite.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, you have Freedom? Oh, that's why.
It's better than CenturyLink.
in the
Mhm.
I wouldn't.
We had CenturyLink for a long
Oh,
time.
that's cable.
if anybody wants to know my CenturyLink system's out in my yard, y'all can come get it.
There's
We still selling t-shirts for Challenger?
I haven't sold any recently, no.
Okay. All right, I think I'm good. Anybody got anything for me? All right, discuss financial statement if needed. Number 13 or number 11,
Motion to adjourn,
motion by Brad, seconded by
Alicia said.
Alicia. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?